What's up everyone and welcome to today's tutorial. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to build out this Voiceflow chatbot that you can embed into a tattoo studio's website that allows for all the functionalities that they may need out of a chatbot. Now I'm super excited to show this to you today because I think that tattoo studios are super overlooked when it comes to AI and automations. You'd be surprised that there are so many things going on in a tattoo shop that could be automated using AI tools, and this is one of the really big ones, chatbots. So today I'm really excited to show you this chatbot that I built out for a tattoo studio that I've used for my own client before that has all the functionalities that they asked for and said would be a thumbs up for helping them out with their studio. So I'm really excited to show you all of this. This is what it looks like embedded into a sample Webflow website for a tattoo studio. It looks super nice, super sleek. It kind of hangs out down here in the bottom right corner, and it looks great and has all the things that you could possibly need. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into everything. But before we do that, let's do some housekeeping. So if any of you don't know, Voiceflow is one of the best platforms for building out AI agents in today's day and age. So if you don't have an account already, I want you to go into the description below, click on that link and sign up for Voiceflow or select whatever plan you may need. They have plenty of free plans so you can start there, and I want you to navigate to Voiceflow, sign up, and get started. The other thing is that you might need a template for this if you don't want to be starting from scratch. So what you can do is you can navigate to the description below. You can get the link for this specific template, and you can also use the discount code in the description below to get the template completely for free. That's right, 100% off. It'll be completely free. You can see we have a ton of templates here, but for today, our tattoo shop template is going to be free for you, so 100%. Just make sure that you grab that discount code in the description below. Cool, so now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and navigate into our Voiceflow here. So we're in Voiceflow. I'm just going to reload my page really quick. Beautiful. So we're in Voiceflow. We're in this dashboard. I'm assuming that you've already downloaded the template. You've got everything you need set up. The first thing we're going to do is navigate to this home workflow. Now, this is the simplest workflow in this whole thing. It's really, really basic. It's literally just an intro message and a home menu. So it says, "Welcome to Batera Tattoo Shop. How can I help you?" And it gives a little menu of our services with links to each individual intent. The way we connect to intents, you ask, is by, let's go ahead here. Let's actually delete this. Attaching a little thing here, going down to actions, going to go to intent, and we can go down to, let's say, services here as one of our intents. Amazing. So that's how we connected that. It's super simple, just a little pop-up of our menu here. But now let's navigate over into our services. Okay, we're in our services. Outstanding. This is also a really simple setup that you can expand as needed. So on an as needed basis, you can add all sorts of different services that you may offer at this studio, but we're going to start with tattoos and piercings because those are the most common ones for a tattoo shop. So we've got the tattoo services, which are fine line tattoos, Japanese traditional tattoos, and new school tattoos, but we also have piercings like ear piercings, nose piercings, and other piercings like elbow or eyebrow, lip, tongue, and dimple piercings. Now let's look at this in action over here. If we press on our services, we can see that it pops up with this little question here where you can choose either the tattoo flow using buttons or the piercings flow using buttons. And let's say I press on tattoos, cool. It's going to pop up with this beautiful different carousel where you can click through images of their best art at this tattoo shop, and you can press to find a fine line artist. Now, this is going to navigate us into another really cool feature, which is the artist catalog. Let's navigate to that workflow in Voiceflow here. We're in our artist catalog. We have a nice little welcome message here, and we have another break off little split where the user can press a button for a tattoo or a piercing specialist, and it'll lead the user into the tattoo artist. So we pressed on that, and let's say I want to find a fine line artist. It's actually going to immediately take us to the tattoo artist. Isn't that awesome? So we have our services here. It navigates directly using this button on our services catalog straight into our tattoo artist block. So what we did here, and I'm actually going to delete this, is we added a button and we connected it using actions to go to the tattoo artist block. So it makes it super simple for somebody who is looking for a specific type of artist to navigate to that specific block. Now, Let's go ahead and go back over to the artist catalog and kind of dive into the features that we have here. So it's really similar to the services catalog. We have it splitting off into tattoos and piercings. And we have the tattoo artist up here, the piercing artist down here. And we have these buttons that connect us to the artist's Instagram, to a button where we can schedule a free consultation, or to where they can just pass. So let's go ahead and look at how this would look like in real life. So we have that here. And these are actually the artists from one of my favorite tattoo shows. And I'm really excited to show this off because I think it'll be super useful. It's the show Ink Master. If we look here, we can see, viewing the artist's Instagram, we can see get a free consultation or I'll pass. Now, a lot of people find their tattoo artists on Instagram. So this is a feature that I made sure I added because that's where they post a lot of their art, a lot of examples of the things that they've done before. So make sure you add that button or other links that might lead to galleries and things like that. But then we have this get a free consultation button. So when I press get a free consultation button here, it leads us into this question where it says, would you like to book a call or contact us via message/email? So let's actually go back into our flow here and look at what I'm talking about. So we're going to go back to the consultation booking workflow over here on our left sidebar. Now, this is one of the more complicated aspects of our chatbot, and it leaves you with two different options and flows that you can use for consultation booking. Now, we can see here in this little note in the template that we have number one, the option to collect user data through a form-like format and then use a post API request to send that information to a chosen application. Now, this one's a little bit more technically, I would say. And then we have the second option, which is it shows you how to connect a Calendly page to Voiceflow to set up calls and meeting consultations directly in Voiceflow. That's supposed to say Voiceflow. Oops. So we have this button here. I kind of played it off by saying you can choose a call or a message. If we were to press the call flow, it'll lead us into this Calendly automation here. Let's kind of take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to press call, and it leads us into the calendar. And it loads, and we can literally see Calendly directly in the chatbot. It looks great. So the way this works is we're giving a great use a calendar below to book a time. We connect our Calendly link using a set variable. So what we did was we used a set block under logic and set, and we're going to go ahead and call this variable. We're going to create the variable Calendly link, create variable, and we can see I already made it. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and we're going to select it to my Calendly link, and we're going to set the variable Calendly link to my Calendly link using the value button. So I pasted in my Calendly link by going to my Calendly, pressing the copy link, and pasting that in. And then what happens here is we have this iframe that's pasted into a regular message block. So just in a message block in the text, we have this iframe that we pasted in, and we connected this variable that we just set right here into this iframe using the source, and that will allow for it to pop up with this little pop-up. Now, in Voiceflow, it looks like it says, sorry, page not found. It looks like it's not going to pop up. I promise you, when you run it, it will actually show up in the chat. It's just that in the Voiceflow interface, you can't see it. That's fine. So we're going to have them book using the calendar here. It's great, super nice interface. And once we do that, it'll say, what else can I help you with? And lead them back to the home menu. So that's our first option here. The second option is for the message option, which is actually just connecting to maybe like a CRM or emailing the artist at the studio that they've got a new message. And we're doing this through a post API. So by posting information to an API or to a webhook or URL or whatever. So we're going to start by capturing the name. So we've got this block here that has a message, and then we have this capture block. So this is under listen and then capture. And we're going to capture the entire user reply, and we're going to select the variable that we set it to. So we're going to set that variable to name. So capture the user's reply, set the variable name to the user's reply. Then we move into the next block, which is capturing the email. We're going to do the same process, except instead of capturing it and storing it to the variable name, we're going to set it to the variable email. Outstanding. And now you can add as many steps as you want to this. It really depends on where you're posting this information to. And I can do a more in-depth tutorial on this. If you let me know in the description below that you want it, I'm happy to make that for you guys. But you can add as many steps as you want here. So we could have a name capture, an email capture, type of tattoo, the artist that you want, all sorts of information that might be useful to capture in this form. And then we post it to a URL or to an API. So make sure that you press post here. And actually, let me show you how we got this API block here. So we go to dev and the API block, drag this in here. Great. We select post. We paste in our URL. There's lots of tutorials on this. Again, if you want me to make one on this, I'm happy to. And then we have our form data here. So in the body, we press the plus sign, we select form data, we put the text name, and then the variable name. Remember, we collected that over here. And then we have email, and then the variable email, which we collected here. And that'll take the user's inputs, store them in the form's body, and then send it to whatever URL you paste into here. That could be your Salesforce, your HubSpot, your MailChimp, just a regular emailing software. All sorts of things. There's a lot of creative things you can do with this depending on what your clientele is or what your specific use case is. Great. So if it succeeds, it says, great, we'll be in touch, takes them back to the home menu. If it fails, it'll just say, hey, email us and we'll get in touch with you, takes them back to the home menu. Cool. Next, we're moving into the pricing estimator tool. Now, this is something that I think is super duper neat because when I've gotten tattoos in the past, figuring out the pricing is something that's been a struggle. You have to email the person, you have to message them on Instagram and be like, hey, how much will it cost for me to get a tattoo? Just a general price range that is about this size, about this complicated and in this specific area. And a lot of times they're like, oh, well, I'm not really sure. You might have to come in for a consultation. This tool can allow you to kind of automate that process depending on your pricing. So we're going to walk through this step by step. So the first block is answer a few questions and we can give you a servicing estimate. And then it's going to say, what service category do you need? So let's kind of look at this in action. So we're going to go ahead and go to the tattoo cost estimator tool. And it's saying, okay, complete a short questionnaire, and it's going to come up with tattoo and piercing. So let's say I press tattoo. So that's this button right here was a tattoo one. It'll navigate us up to this form up here, and it'll ask, what size do you want your tattoo to be? So let's say I'm looking for just like a little tiny tattoo maybe on my arm here. Let's say I want it to be 5 to 3 inches. Okay, that's what's happening right here. I'm selecting that button and setting to 5 to 3 inches. What happened was when I pressed 5 to 3 inches, that selection went to set the variable tattoo size to my last response. So I used the set block to set tattoo size, which is a variable I created. If you don't have that variable made, create the variable tattoo underscore size and make sure that you set it to the last response that the user made. So that's 3 to 5 inches. Then it moves us on into the next step, which is tattoo placement. Let's say I want it on my arm. Outstanding. I pressed arm. We set tattoo placement, the variable tattoo placement, to the last response, which was arm. And it went ahead and went into this response AI block, which we get up here in the top left, dragged it in here. And what we did was we set question to what is the minimum price for a tattoo of whatever that variable for tattoo size is. So let's go delete this to kind of show you guys. I went ahead and pressed a curly bracket, and we're going to choose, oh, no, don't do that. Let's go ahead and for a tattoo size, for a tattoo, okay, and what we did was we went ahead and set the question to this. We set it to, so what we went ahead and did in this response AI block was we set the question to what is the minimum price for a tattoo size tattoo with the placement on the blank. So what we did was okay, this is the start over point. Okay, so what we did in the set AI block was we set this question here, and we set the question to what is the minimum price for a 3 to 5 inch tattoo with placement on the arm. So what we did was we put those variables into the question so that that content and that information varies depending on what the user inputs. Make sense? Cool. Then what we did was we input these instructions. If you have the template, you'll have these instructions on what the AI's job is, which is you're a tattoo shop secretary who provides pricing estimates. Great. So that's what we did here. And a really important thing is make sure that you set the data source to knowledge base. Because what's happening here is we are going to go ahead and look back at our knowledge base, go to agent, knowledge base. We have a sample pricing PDF of the cost for different tattoos. So we can see here that we have just pasted in basically like a output of the cost of all these different tattoos, which is super nice. You can literally just paste in any type of data source, whether it's a URL, sitemap, upload a file, or plain text. You can even upload your Zendesk FAQs. And it uses that information. Let's navigate back to the pricing estimator, to come up with a pricing estimate. Then it asks, hey, do you want to start with a consultation? And we can see that here. It says, hey, do you want to have a consultation? I can say, yes, let's do it. And it navigates me back to the consultation booking page. Outstanding. So that's sort of how that works. And it's a really nice feature. It helps make coming up with estimates for tattoos a lot easier, which I really am a fan of. Now, the final feature I'm going to show you is the general questions or FAQ section. This is another really simple aspect of this automation that is actually super powerful. So what we can do here is it asks, what can I help answer for you? And we capture the user reply to the variable question. Cool. So we used a capture block, set it to question, and we went ahead and went to the response AI section. And this is super similar to what we did for the pricing estimator. It's using the knowledge base information, and you can upload your FAQs. You can upload your URL to your website FAQs to help the chatbot find the answers for these questions in the knowledge base. And what happens is we set the question actually to that variable question over here that the user types in after we ask, what can I help you with? And we add the instructions that you are a customer service agent for the tattoo shop and your job is to provide answers. So super simple. It provides the answer and then it asks, do you have another question? If they press yes, it takes them to the home menu where they can find out more information, or no, they ask, what else can I help you with, and takes them back to the home menu. So that's just kind of like a nice user interface feature where you're kind of making sure that your clients are happy and your customers are happy. And if the does not find an answer in the knowledge base, we have this not found block that we selected here. And it leads us into this path that says, unfortunately, I cannot find an answer to this question, and directs them to email customer support. But you can also set up an automation to Zendesk or anything else that can help sort of usher the user through getting that question to someone who can help them. So that is our tutorial for today. I'm super happy that you all followed me along with this. Don't forget to get the template in the description below. Use the discount code in the description. It's going to be Botterra Tattoo, and get this template completely for free. And don't forget that you can find more templates at our shop, AI/marketplace. You can find all sorts of templates for all sorts of use cases, from restaurants, online courses, e-commerce, tattoo shops, recommendation systems, auto repair shops, everything that you can imagine. We've got it. And if you can't find a chatbot template that you want, let me know in the comments below and we will make it for you. So there's that. Make sure you sign up for Voiceflow. And once again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. It has been super fun having you along for this tutorial. Make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have questions or any ideas for us. And I'm excited to see you in the